everything hurts and I'm dying. You know, that's... Alright, there's only one way to do this. And that's the way. I'm actually in a little ring right now. You can't tell. I know you can't. I should have picked that glove up. No, I don't got any space to carry stuff. You can't tell. But this has all been uphill. All this mud has been uphill. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Adam Lives Adventure. We're here in sunny Leona, Wisconsin. It is a balmy 76 degrees. Totally can't see our breath. Gearing up for a nice long day in the saddle. Got my buddy Dan back here. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Are you pulling
Jamie's over here.
the trailer thing?
Yeah, just
I'm pulling Jacob today.
getting
Are you
our
doing the
stuff
short thing?
together.
Yeah,
And,
that's gonna be hard as hell.
you know, getting ready for some mud, some sand,
Oh, hi.
some... I don't know. What are we expecting today? Crap?
Crap.
A whole lot of crap. So it'll be great.
Two buddies.
Thank you.
I know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day. Go. Good job, everybody. Andy, have fun out there. Tandem. There we go. Dave and Tanya. All right. Have fun. All right.
So here we are, the Bear 100, May 3rd, Leona, Wisconsin. I tackled the 113 mile course, wound up to be 115 miles. There's usually a section of what they call rutty 2 track at the end. It's just mud, really. It's like an ATV trail with deep, thick, sloshy mud. They took it out this year because there was an inch of rain a week before the race, and they said it was not safe, which, seeing the rest of the course, I can say it was the right decision, so thanks, guys, for looking out for us. Yeah, this is a tough race. I do not quite every year, but I've done it 3 times now in the last 5 years, and it's a really good primer for the season. Sometimes fun, sometimes just brutal. This one was definitely towards the latter of those extremes. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about 5 mental strategies that I used to not quit this race. Can see at the beginning of the race I'm not doing too bad. Started off at my pace, not too fast. I didn't go with the fast guys. You can see there's some space between me and the front group yet. I will wind up catching them for a little while, but I don't stay on too long. It was always my intent to pace this really well and try to work with my friend Jamie and see how my fitness was. Well, it was not where I thought it was, but the real problem was muscular. I don't really know what to call it. I was dealing with IT band pain and back pain, and it was, I hesitate to over dramatize it, but excruciating was a pretty good word. Just searing pain down the sides of my thighs, and the back pain actually forced me off the bike at 2 points in this race where I just had to get off and stretch because I was in so much pain I couldn't sit on the bike anymore. So I probably wanted to quit for the first time like 9 miles in out of 115. It was early. I want to say it's coming up soon here that I start to be in pain. And then when I catch my buddy Jim is when it really started. I rode with him for a while and hammered up a hill, and it just... everything went nuts. It was so bad. So I started to play things through my head, like, what am I going to do? Can I really sit with this back pain for 7 hours? 8 hours? I mean, how long am I going to endure this? And started to think all the usual things about quitting and failing myself and all this. But I never got down on myself, which I'm pretty happy about. Here's Jim. I was on his wheel. I'd gotten dropped off the main group. He caught me. I stayed on his wheel for a while, and we hung out. But I just couldn't stick with him because the pain kept coming back. Anyway, there's just a lot of stuff that goes through your head when you think about quitting a big event. And I really wanted to. It was the prospect of sitting out there for that long in pain was, I just didn't want to do it. But then I started to reconsider. And like I said, I got 5 things I want to talk to you about today. The first one is to avoid metrics. Now, what I mean by this, I'm not talking about not measuring your goals. Goals you want to have, remember the whole SMART acronym, the M is they need to be measurable. So in order to know if you're achieving something, you have to have a way to measure it. That's good. But when you're in the middle of a big event, or something that you need to get done, the last thing you want to do is look at metrics constantly. So if you think about losing weight, you don't want to really weigh yourself every single day. The best thing to do is probably weekly, because you're going to see so many fluctuations that if you weigh yourself every day, you're going to see the ups and the downs, and it's really easy to get frustrated and honestly give up because you just see all these fluctuations and it doesn't make any sense. So why am I 3 pounds heavier today? And your body holds on to water in certain situations and all that stuff. So you get bogged down by staring at the metrics. And in this case, mileage, distance, speed, all that stuff, all it does is distract. And when you see, oh, I've got 75 miles to go, it's really difficult to get your brain away from that distance. It's all you can focus on is, I have this many miles to go. So I turned that screen off. It took me too long this time. I forgot about it. But I switched to my navigation screen only, which brings me to the second of my strategies. Break it down. So instead of viewing it as, I have 85 miles to go and I'm in constant pain, think of it as, I have the next mile or the next half mile. What I like to do, and I remembered it a little later than usual in this ride, is to turn on the navigation screen only. And what's really nice about the navigation screen on the Garmin is that it tells you the mileage to your next point. So it'll say 2.7 miles, take a left onto Rat Lake Road or whatever it is. That gives you a small number to achieve. And then you get the next turn, and maybe that one's only a mile. Maybe the next one is 4 miles. So each time I got done with one of these sections, I thought, all right, I just checked 4 more miles off. I just checked 3 more miles off. And gradually you get to the point where you can't even remember how many miles you've actually done, and you start to trick your brain into just not knowing. Like, well, I could have 30 miles left, or 43 miles left, or 27 miles left, but I'm not going to look. I don't know. I don't need to know. Just keep that information away. Just keep it out of your head. And then it makes it so you don't have to be distracted by it. It's so much easier to just break it down into those little manageable chunks. Number 3 was what saved me on Saturday, and it's remember that you're not alone. Now, in this race, I had people with me physically. And I honestly don't know if I would have been able to get into the proper headspace if I hadn't had those people with me. But here is what I'm talking about, even if there's not people with you. So if I had been on my own, I still could have remembered there's other people out here and they're all suffering. I'm not the only one out here doing this. There's other people here. Whatever you're doing, there's somebody else struggling with it. You're never completely alone. You might think you have this special, unique problem that no one else has ever dealt with. That's a lie. The chances that you have the only one to have experienced whatever current pain you're going through is so slim. There's always somebody else who's suffering with you, even if they're not physically with you at that time. Now, in a race like this, even if you want to go faster than somebody, maybe it's more valuable to be with somebody if you're in that place of just wanting to quit. And for me, that's how it was. I had that group of people that you saw me with a little while ago, Reed, Dave and Tanya, Ferez, and Dylan, and riding with them gave me hope. It gave me, how do I describe it? Camaraderie. That's the word I'm looking for. That reminder of, yeah, other people are out here doing the same thing. We're all hurting a little bit. It's really tough out here. I'm not the only one suffering in this mud and this soft, mushy nonsense. So that's such a big deal, because when you isolate yourself, you start to focus on everything that's wrong with you and you ignore everybody else, and it becomes that much easier to just quit. Whereas you remind yourself of all those other people, your own situation becomes less dire. You don't over dramatize what's going on with you. We passed some people who had a minor crash and a woman blew out her rear wheel. The spoke pulled through the carbon and she actually cracked her frame. So she had a legit reason to quit. She couldn't physically pedal her bike anymore. I had back pain. Like, what am I going to do? Call up the sag wagon and be like, oh, my back hurts. Can you give me a ride back to the start line? Like, come on. Other people had it way worse. That brings me to the next point, number 4. Imagine what you would feel if you did quit. This is a really good decision-making tool in the moment. Because if you can imagine everything is done, you've quit, all your friends have finished, how are you going to feel? Now, this is good in a couple ways, because it can either be the reason you quit or the reason you finish. Now, what I mean by that is if you've got a serious problem, like, if you push through this pain, it's going to be devastating and something's going to be wrong. Maybe you'll have a hospital visit, something terrible is going to happen, or if it's the case of that other person whose bike had broken, obviously there's something else going on there. So you can be done, you quit, but you know that you gave everything you could. And that was it. That was it for the day. And you feel good about it. Or you quit because it was too hard, or you didn't feel like it. How are you going to feel at the end then? You're not going to have this, yeah, you know what? I gave it my all. I did my best. I needed to quit today. I was done. You're going to have the feeling of, I could have done more. I could have done more. I wasn't hurting that bad. I could have finished. Now, wherever you fall on that spectrum, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about your quitting. It only matters what you think. But if you quit and you know you didn't have to, it's going to eat you alive. I know it. I've done it once or twice where I just quit because I felt like quitting and it sucked. Because when I was sitting watching my friends who had finished, it was awful because I knew that I could have done it. And that brings me to number 5 in my mental strategies to endure suffering, don't stop. Just keep going forward. Just keep swimming. Just keep pedaling. Just keep suffering. Just keep doing it. Because as someone famous once said, I don't know who said it, we always see these quotes, the only way is through. It's the only way to the other side. We just have to go through. We have to persevere. So if you want to finish something, sounds stupid, you just got to finish it. You got to push through and just do it. Not always easy, but it's pretty simple. So yeah, that is my synopsis of this race in 5 mental strategies to help finish an endurance event of any kind. It can apply to a lot of things. Avoid the metrics in the moment. Break down the distance into small, manageable chunks. Remember that you're not alone. Imagine the feeling after if you quit, and don't stop. Thanks so much for watching today as I did finish this race. I pushed through even though I did not want to, and eventually, as you can see now, I got to enjoy the sunlight instead of the cold, rainy nonsense of the morning. It was cold. God, it was so freaking cold when we started. But the sun came out, dried up a little bit of the rain. Not very much. It was still really wet. The whole day was wet. But yeah, I finished. I don't really know how, and it kind of sucked, but I'm really glad that I stuck it through, because I would have felt like crap if I was done and I didn't give it all that I had. So yeah, if this was of any value today, please like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and shoot me a comment below if you've had an event that you wanted to quit. Whether you quit or didn't, you can tell me about that, whatever it is. I'd like to hear your story on how you got through or how you didn't get through and how you felt about it afterwards. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to Adam's Adventure today, and go crush it.